Hello everybody, welcome to this this month's video, I guess. I find myself back in Norfolk. I'm actually outside a Starbucks in King's Lynn, just charging the car up before I head off up to the north coast of Norfolk to fly my drone. But more of that in a moment. So, if you saw my video last month about prepping the drone ahead of flight, you'll have seen I've done all my checks for, doing firmware updates, checking my airspace and things like that. So I was going to do another follow-on video of the final few steps I do before actually launching, but that turned out it was going to be a very quick video. So what I'm actually going to do now is just run through those steps in this video before we actually go up and start flying. So let me just switch to my little list of things. Talk amongst yourselves. Cool, so first thing I do, so I've done all my pre-checks, I know I'm safe to fly where I'm allowed to fly, firmware, the drone's fine, battery charged, and all that good stuff. So when I get to where I'm going to go fly, the first thing you need to think about is a suitable launch point. You need somewhere flat, somewhere accessible, and I quite often use a landing pad just to make sure there's no other obstructions in between basically the ground and the drone. So find somewhere good to launch from. Next thing I do is I pair up the drone. Just press the button, let it do its pre-start, do its calibration, and it can start looking for GPS satellites so it knows where it is. Whilst that's going on, I start up the controller, bring that up online, and I look at my settings, things like my return to home height. So, I don't want it necessarily to be flying up to 100 meters to fly back to me. I'll check the surroundings and make a decision on a safe height to fly at. At that point, then I will just double check the satellite fix, make sure we've got at least 4, preferably more than 10, so we know where we are. I'll then bring the sticks down and together to start the motors turning. I can then visually and audibly check that everything is fine as it should be and there's no cracked blades or anything like that. And then with a final check, everyone make sure there's no one near that shouldn't be near. I then bring the drone up to around about head height, hover it there, make sure it's stable, it's not drifting anywhere, and also again just listening for any errors or problems with the props. And once I'm happy with that, I go into my final check, which is just a quick control check really, to make sure it goes up and down, left and right, spins, as it should. And at that point then I can go on and fly the mission. Like I said, that would have been a very quick video on its own. So what are we doing today? Hopefully you can see, maybe through these windows, beautiful blue skies. It's 23 degrees, which believe me is quite scorchio for the UK. But I'm heading up to Brancaster Beach, where there is an old wreck. And if you saw my video of Hunstanton, probably about 2 years ago now, I'll put a link to it of the wreck there. I do kind of like water shots and wrecks especially. So this wreck though is not especially accessible from the beach. It is actually sitting on a sandbank further out with a small river in between the main beach and where the wreck is. So if I put up this little notice from the National Trust who owns that area of the beach, you'll see really shouldn't go walking out to it. People do, and people do need rescuing every now and then. So I figured rather than walk out and be risking that as the tide comes in, I'll fly my drone out there and get some shots. So low tide is around about 4:30. It's just gone 3 o'clock now, so by the time the car's finished charging, got another quarter of an hour here. Drive up there, be about half an hour or so to get there. By the time I get out to the beach and start flying, should be spot on for low tide. It's hidden at high tide, so I'll fly out, have a good look round, and see what shots we get. So I think that'll do for now. I'll have my my iced latte and have a fly out, and we'll see what we get. So see you there. So I had to walk about 1 kilometre down to the beach to find a spot close to where that the river is, the Norton Creek. And as I explained earlier, I put out a little launch pad which just keeps the drone separate from the sand and stops anything getting into the workings of the motors. Then, yeah, get the drone out, take the gimbal cover off, unfold the arms, make sure everything is there as it should be, no cracks, no damage, and it looks good to go. Then I power on the controller, and I've powered on the drone, and now just checking things such as the various settings. This is now telling me that the drone needs a compass check, so I do the DJI dance, where I spin the drone round horizontally, then flip it onto its side and do a vertical spin, just so it knows which way is north effectively and knows where it is. I then mark in the drone its home location so it knows where it is home. I can set it to any location really, indeed back to the controller where I'm standing in case I move. That's me just there doing a final check of my surroundings, make sure there's no idiots coming to come say hello, and then as I said earlier, do the control check. So I've hovered, it's around about head height, and you'll see me just move it back and forwards, left and right, up and down, just to make sure that the controls are doing as they should do. And then at this point I go off and have a look at the surrounding area. right, well, we'll try this, see if the wind noise is too bad on the little mic here. But yeah, nice little flight there. It was further out than I thought, and you probably see on some of the shots I actually had to go back and forth because I just couldn't see the wreck from the drone screen. But you know, found it eventually, so I did a nice little circle shot. A little bit far out, if I'm honest with you, to do too much more, and the wind is a bit strong out there as well, so the drone was complaining a little bit about the wind. But yeah, that was fun. Saw a little bit there at the end with the Coast Guard rescuing people off the sandbank, the same sandbank, you know, they tell you not to go on, so here we go. So that was good. I was planning on coming back at 4:30 in the morning for a sunrise shot, but you know what, with where it is and the darkness and stuff, I don't think I will. I think I'll just leave it at that today and come back another day. And I don't know if there was any, I'll have to check the video later, but I don't know if the seagulls, who clearly didn't like the drone, were on the film at all, so we'll have a look at that. But right, heading back to the car, then I think we've got a barbecue at the in-laws. Let's go.